Okay, so electric fireplaces. They're everywhere, right?
Right.
Like, I gotta admit, the more I see them, the more I kind of want one, you know?
Yeah.
Is it just me? Is this like a trend? Are we all turning into, like, those people with the,
Right.
like those fake fireplaces?
Right.
But they're not even trying to look real.
Right.
But now they do look real.
Yeah. No, they've upped their game for sure.
So we gotta like unpack this whole thing because I think it's more than just a fad at this point.
Yeah.
And we've got some good stuff to dig into today.
Okay.
We've got an actual Amazon listing for a model called the Real Flame Bernice 67.
Okay.
And I don't know about you, but that name alone makes me want to like redecorate my whole living room.
Right.
Like, I'm getting like a modern farmhouse vibe just from that.
Right.
But we've also got some marketing materials too. So we can
okay.
see like, what they're promising these days.
Yeah. What's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not all smoke and mirrors.
Right.
So what I'm really curious about is like, is this just about like, the look of a fireplace?
No.
Or are these things actually functional?
Yeah. That's a great question.
Like, can they actually heat a room?
Right.
Because I feel like the appeal of a fireplace, for me at least, has always been like that primal,
Warmth.
Yeah.
That feeling of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like warmth and comfort.
Yeah. And ambiance.
Yes.
Like it just transforms the space.
Totally.
And I think electric fireplaces, they tap into that same desire,
Okay.
but in a way that's very much in tune with modern lifestyles.
Okay. I like that. So it's like primal, but like updated for the 21st century.
Exactly. It's not just about heating a room, it's about transforming a space.
Okay. And speaking of transforming a space,
Yeah.
this Bernice model on Amazon,
Yeah.
people are going crazy for it.
Mm.
And the pictures, like, it looks really nice. Like I said,
Yeah.
like that modern farmhouse vibe with the mantle and everything.
Okay.
But here's where it gets interesting. Okay.
You can customize the flame color.
Wow.
I mean, how cool is that?
That's very cool.
Like, what's the thinking there from like a design perspective?
Well, it's brilliant, actually, because it lets you curate the entire mood.
Okay.
Like, imagine switching from a warm amber glow for a cozy movie night to like a cool blue hue when you want something more sleek and modern.
Right.
It's a level of control that you just don't get with traditional fireplaces.
Okay, I'm sold on the customizable flames.
Yeah.
But hold on.
Okay.
Because before I get ahead of myself,
Yeah.
let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
For those of us who are like new to the game,
Right.
what exactly is an electric fireplace?
Okay.
Like, how does it actually work?
Sure.
Is it really as simple as just plugging it in?
It really is that simple.
No way.
Essentially, an electric fireplace uses electricity to generate heat,
Okay.
typically through a metal coil or an infrared element.
Okay.
And then the heat is dispersed into the room, often with the help of a fan.
To mimic that feeling of warmth radiating from a real fire.
Got it.
No venting, no chimneys, no hassle.
So no actual flames then.
Right.
But the technology has come a long way, right?
Absolutely.
Like in terms of like creating that realistic fire effect.
Yes.
Because I'm looking at the Amazon listing for the Bernice here, and it mentions something about LED lights and even mirrors.
Yes. They use LED lights and mirrors to create incredibly realistic flame effects.
Wow.
And you can adjust the brightness, the color, and some models even have crackling sound effects.
Oh, stop.
They've really tapped into the sensory experience of a fireplace.
Wow. So they've really thought of everything.
They really have.
Okay, well, speaking of sensory experiences,
Yeah.
this Bernice fireplace claims it can heat a room up to 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
It's not just for show.
Right.
That's actual functional heat.
It is. But it's important to distinguish between supplemental and primary heat sources.
Okay.
While electric fireplaces can definitely take the chill out of a room and make it cozier, they may not be powerful enough to be your sole source of heat,
Got it.
especially in colder climates or larger spaces.
Yeah.
For that, a gas fireplace might be more suitable.
So it's less about replacing your central heating system.
Right.
And more about like creating these targeted zones of warmth.
You could think of it as enhancing, not replacing.
Okay.
Plus, that targeted approach can even be more energy efficient,
Oh, okay.
allowing you to heat specific areas where you spend the most time without wasting energy on heating an entire house.
I like the sound of that.
Right.
But before we get too deep into the whole like electric versus gas debate,
Okay.
because I do want to get there,
Yeah.
there's something else about this Bernice model that caught my eye.
Okay.
They're really playing up this replaceable heater insert.
Okay.
Why is that such a big deal?
Well, it speaks to the longevity of the investment.
Okay.
With a replaceable heater insert, you're essentially getting a fireplace that's built to last.
Okay.
If the heating element ever wears out, you simply replace it. instead of having to buy a whole new fireplace.
Right.
That's a big plus in terms of sustainability and long-term cost savings.
That's huge.
Right.
Yeah, especially these days.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like me
Right.
who likes to buy something once and be done with it.
Right.
But let's talk about the experience,
Okay.
the ambiance,
Yeah.
because that's what draws people to fireplaces in the first place, right?
Right.
That sense of warmth and comfort.
Absolutely.
How do electric fireplaces measure up to the real deal in that department?
Well, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
You see, electric fireplaces have this unique advantage
Okay.
when it comes to ambiance
Okay.
because they're not bound by the limitations of real flames.
Right.
They can offer a level of customization and control.
Okay.
That's just not possible with traditional fireplaces.
So we're talking about more than just customizable flame colors here.
Oh, absolutely.
Like what else?
Think about it.
Yeah.
With a traditional fireplace,
Yeah.
you're pretty much stuck with whatever ambiance it naturally provides.
Right.
But with an electric fireplace,
Yeah.
you can fine-tune
Okay.
every aspect of the experience.
Okay, give me an example.
Okay.
Paint me a picture.
All right. So imagine this.
Okay.
It's a chilly evening.
Okay.
You're wanting to create a cozy,
Yeah.
romantic atmosphere in your living room.
Okay, I like where this is going.
You dim the lights,
Okay.
put on some soft music,
Yep.
and turn on your electric fireplace.
Okay.
But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
With a few taps on a remote,
Oh, I see where you're going.
you can adjust the flame color to a warm, flickering amber.
Okay.
You can increase the intensity of the flames for a more dramatic effect.
Right.
And for the finishing touch,
Okay.
you activate the built-in crackling sound effects,
No way.
filling the room with the comforting sounds of a real fire.
Are you kidding me?
It's amazing.
So you've got the visual and the audio.
The whole sensory experience.
Wow.
It's incredible.
I can practically feel the warmth radiating from those imaginary flames.
Right.
It sounds like you're creating an entire sensory experience tailored to your exact mood.
Exactly.
Mm.
And because electric fireplaces are so customizable,
Right.
you can create a completely different vibe
Okay.
depending on the occasion.
Give me another example.
Okay, so let's say you're hosting a dinner party.
Okay.
You might choose a more modern minimalist flame effect
Okay.
with cool blue or purple hues
Oh, wow.
to match the ambiance.
Okay, I like that.
Or for a family movie night,
Yep.
you could switch to a classic roaring fire effect
Okay.
with a warm, inviting glow.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are.
Okay, this is blowing my mind.
It's amazing what they can do.
But let's get real for a moment.
Okay.
We've been talking a lot about the Bernice model from Amazon
Right.
and how those reviews are off the charts.
Yeah, they're really good.
So what are people saying about the actual experience? Is it as good as they say it is?
The customer reviews for the Bernice are overwhelmingly positive.
Okay.
And a common theme is this surprising realism
Okay.
of the flame effects.
Really?
Many reviewers say they forget it's not a real fire,
Wow.
especially when they have the crackling sound effects turned on.
That's why.
It's really quite convincing.
Okay, well, that's a pretty strong endorsement. But what about the heat output?
Okay.
We talked earlier about how electric fireplaces might not be as powerful as gas fireplaces,
Right.
especially for larger spaces.
Right.
Are people finding the Bernice to be sufficient in terms of actual warmth?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because I could see that being a concern.
Yeah, and it's something that's addressed quite a bit in the reviews.
Okay.
What's interesting is that many reviewers who were initially skeptical
Okay.
about the heat output of an electric fireplace
Yeah.
were pleasantly surprised by the Bernice.
Okay.
They mention that it heats their rooms effectively and efficiently, even in colder temperatures.
Okay, so it's not just about the ambiance.
Right.
It's actually delivering on the heat as well.
It seems so.
That's impressive.
Of course, individual experiences will vary,
Right.
depending on factors like room size insulation,
Right.
personal temperature preferences.
Sure.
But based on the reviews, the Bernice seems to be a solid performer
Okay.
in terms of both ambience and heat output.
Okay, this is all starting to sound pretty tempting.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about the bigger picture here.
Okay.
We live in a world where sustainability
Right.
and energy efficiency are becoming increasingly important.
Absolutely.
How do electric fireplaces fit into that equation?
That's a crucial aspect to consider.
Right.
And it's an area where electric fireplaces really shine.
Okay.
You see, because they don't rely on burning fuel
Right.
like wood or gas.
Okay.
Electric fireplaces are inherently more energy efficient.
That makes sense.
There's no heat lost through a chimney or flue.
Right.
and you have much more control over how and when you use the heat.
So we're talking about like a potentially more eco-friendly fireplace option.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just the lack of emissions.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about targeted heating earlier?
Yeah.
That plays a big role in the energy efficiency
Okay.
of electric fireplaces.
Okay.
By only heating the specific areas where you need it,
Yeah.
you can potentially reduce your overall energy consumption
Okay.
and lower your heating bills.
That's a win-win in my book.
Right.
Okay, so it sounds like electric fireplaces tick a lot of boxes.
They do.
They're stylish,
Mm-hmm.
customizable,
Yeah.
potentially more energy efficient,
Right.
and they offer that cozy, inviting ambiance that we all crave.
Absolutely.
But with so many different styles and models to choose from, it can be overwhelming
You can
to know where to even start.
Right.
So where do we even begin?
Well,
What are some of the key things that people should be thinking about when they're shopping for an electric fireplace?
the first step is to assess your needs and priorities.
Okay.
Are you primarily looking for a supplemental heat source
Okay.
to take the chill out of a room?
Right.
Or are you more interested in the ambiance and aesthetic appeal
Okay.
of a fireplace?
That makes sense because if you're in a colder climate
Right.
and you're relying on the fireplace for like significant warmth,
Right.
you'd want to choose a model with a higher BTU output.
Exactly.
Yeah.
BTU stands for British Thermal Unit,
Okay.
and it's a measure of heat output.
Got it.
A higher BTU rating means the fireplace can generate more heat.
Okay, so knowing the BTU rating is key
Yeah.
when you're comparing different models.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
one of the most important factors to consider.
Okay.
Along with the size of the room you're looking to heat,
Right.
you want to make sure the fireplace you choose has enough power
Right.
to effectively warm the space.
Okay, so we've got BTU output,
Yep.
room size covered. What else is important?
Well, once you've considered the practical aspects,
Okay.
you can start thinking about style and design.
Okay.
As you mentioned earlier, there are so many different styles of electric fireplaces available,
Right.
from sleek and modern
Yeah.
to rustic and traditional.
It's like they've taken this classic element of home design
Right.
and reinvented it for the modern age.
Exactly. And the beauty of this
Yeah.
is that you can find an electric fireplace
Right.
to complement any decor.
That's awesome.
Whether you have a minimalist contemporary living room
Right.
or a cozy traditional den,
Yeah.
there's an electric fireplace out there to match your aesthetic.
And let's not forget about those customizable features.
Absolutely.
I'm still stuck on the idea of changing the flame color to match my mood.
Right.
Like, I need that in my life.
I think that's a feature that really speaks to people's desire for personalization.
Yeah.
The ability to create a different ambiance with the touch of a button.
So easy.
It's very appealing.
Okay, so we've covered BTU output.
Yep.
Room size, style, customizable features.
Right.
Is there anything else that people should keep in mind when they're narrowing down their options?
Well, it's always a good idea to think about the practicalities
Yeah.
of installation and placement.
Okay.
Some electric fireplaces are designed to be inserted
Okay.
into an existing fireplace opening,
Right.
while others are freestanding units that can be placed anywhere in a room.
Right. And then there are the wall-mounted electric fireplaces.
Yes.
Which seem to be gaining in popularity,
They are very popular.
especially for modern and contemporary spaces.
Exactly. Wall-mounted fireplaces offer a sleek, minimalist look
Yeah,
and can be a great space-saving option,
totally.
especially in smaller rooms or apartments.
So many options.
I know, it's amazing.
It's no wonder people are feeling spoiled for choice.
Right.
But I think this deep dive has given us a much clearer understanding
Yeah.
of what to look for in an electric fireplace.
Absolutely. And the great thing is that there's an electric fireplace out there.
To suit every need, style, and budget.
Speaking of budgets,
Okay,
we haven't really touched on the cost factor yet.
right.
How do electric fireplaces compare to gas fireplaces in terms of price?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because that's always a consideration.
In general, electric fireplaces tend to be more affordable up front
Okay.
than gas fireplaces.
Okay.
Of course, the actual cost will vary
Right.
depending on the size, features, and brand you choose.
Of course.
But in general, you're going to find
Yeah.
that electric fireplaces are a bit more budget friendly.
Okay. So it's safe to say that you can find a quality electric fireplace
Oh, absolutely.
without breaking the bank.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you factor in the potential cost savings
Mm.
on installation and maintenance,
Yeah.
electric fireplaces can be a very budget friendly option in the long run.
This is all starting to sound very convincing.
Right.
But before we get carried away with fireplace shopping, I think it's important to acknowledge that electric fireplaces aren't for everyone.
That's a fair point.
Right.
While they offer numerous advantages,
Yeah.
there are a few potential drawbacks to consider before making a decision.
Like what?
Well, for some people, the lack of real flames is a deal breaker.
Yeah.
They miss the crackle,
Right.
the scent,
Yeah.
the authentic experience of a wood-burning fire.
I get that.
Yeah.
There's definitely a certain charm and ambiance
Right.
to a real fire that's
Yeah.
hard to replicate.
Exactly. And while electric fireplaces have come a long way
Right.
in terms of realism,
Yeah.
they can't fully replace
Right.
the sensory experience of a traditional fireplace.
So for those who are true fire purists,
Right.
an electric fireplace might not quite hit the mark.
Precisely. It's important to be honest with yourself
Right.
about your expectations
Yeah.
and what you're ultimately looking for in a fireplace.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And speaking of honesty,
Okay.
we should probably acknowledge
Sure.
that while electric fireplaces are generally considered very safe,
They do use electricity to generate heat,
right,
which always comes with a small element of risk.
that's true. It's always important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully
Right.
and to take precautions to prevent electrical hazards,
Of course.
just as you would with any electrical appliance.
Common sense prevails.
Exactly.
But overall, it sounds like the pros of electric fireplaces
Yeah,
far outweigh the cons,
heck so.
especially for those who are looking for a convenient, stylish,
Right.
and customizable way to add warmth and ambiance to their homes.
I would agree electric fireplaces offer a compelling combination
Yeah,
of practicality, aesthetics, and affordability,
it's a good point.
making them a very attractive option
Yeah.
for many homeowners today.
This has been an incredibly enlightening deep dive.
It has.
I feel like we've gone from fireplace novices
Right.
to semi-experts in the span of this conversation.
It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
Likewise.
It's amazing how much there is to learn.
About even the most seemingly simple things.
Totally.
When you take the time to delve a little deeper.
I'm already picturing it now.
Yeah.
Like, where can I put one of these things?
Right.
But before I, run off and buy the first one I see,
Yeah.
let's bring this deep dive home.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
from the technical specs to, the style trends and everything.
Yeah.
So for those listening who are ready to, take the plunge,
Okay.
what are the absolute must-knows when choosing an electric fireplace?
Well, I'd say start with the practicalities.
Okay.
Measure your space.
Okay.
Think about where the fireplace will go
Yeah.
and how much heat you realistically need.
Right.
That's where BTU output comes into play.
Right. Don't want to end up with a fireplace that's either
Right.
too small for the room or turns it into a sauna.
Exactly. You want to get the right size.
Right.
Once you've got those basics down.
Yeah.
Then comes the fun part.
Okay.
Style. Do you envision a sleek, wall-mounted unit
Okay.
that blends seamlessly into a modern space?
Right.
Or are you drawn to a more traditional mantle design?
Ooh, decisions.
Yeah.
Decisions.
Right.
And let's not forget about those customizable features.
Oh, of course not. That's a big one for a lot of people.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm stuck on that whole changing the flame color thing
It's very cool.
to match my mood.
Right.
Like, that's next level.
It is. It's like having a chameleon fireplace.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Okay. But beyond the aesthetics,
Okay.
what about those practical features that
Okay.
can really enhance the user experience?
Right.
What should people be looking for?
Remote controls are a must-have for convenience.
Okay.
Being able to adjust the heat, the flame intensity,
Right.
even the timer from across the room.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a game changer.
That is a game changer.
And speaking of timers,
Yeah.
that's another feature that can add value,
Okay.
especially for energy savings.
Yeah.
You can program the fireplace to turn on and off at specific times,
Okay.
so you're not wasting energy.
Smart.
Yeah,
So much to think about.
I know it can be overwhelming.
It's like buying a car.
Right.
You've got your base model and then all the bells and whistles.
Exactly.
So for a first-time electric fireplace buyer,
Okay.
what's the one piece of advice
Okay.
you'd give to make sure they find the perfect fit?
Don't be afraid to be a little selfish.
Oh, okay.
This is about enhancing your living space
Right.
and creating an environment that brings you joy.
Hi. I like that.
Think about how you want to feel in that space.
Yeah.
And choose a fireplace that aligns with that vision.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's not just about buying a product.
Right.
It's about investing in your own well-being
Exactly.
and creating a home that truly reflects who you are.
Exactly. It's about curating an experience.
Yes.
One warm glow at a time.
This has been amazing.
It has been fun.
I feel like we need like a fireplace emoji right now.
All right.
To like really capture the mood.
Exactly.
But for real, this deep dive has been a journey of discovery.
It has.
And I have a feeling it sparked a lot of inspiration
I hope so.
for our listeners.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this cozy conversation,
Right.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Imagine yourself
Yeah.
on a chilly evening,
Oh,
curled up with a good book,
I like it.
the soft glow of your electric fireplace,
Yeah.
casting a warm, inviting light on everything around you.
That sounds perfect.
What kind of space have you created?
Ooh, that's good.
What stories will unfold in the warmth of those flickering flames?
Ooh, I like that.
Let that image stay with you.
Yes.
Let it spark your imagination.
Absolutely.
And guide you as you embark on your own electric fireplace adventure.
Beautifully said.
Until next time, stay cozy, friends,
Yes.
and keep those imaginations burning bright.